people a lot wiser and more important than me have made some very qualified statements over the year around the human nature and the dark side and the light side and what we're capable of, but also the resilience of human beings and how they've been able to evolve in such tremendously hard experiences and times in their lives. So, yeah, and on the phones, the main thing on the phones was you had to be sort of hyper vigilant because you didn't have any body language, you didn't have any faces to look at, or be present to that extreme pain, as you said, because a lot of people who were in the business of wanting to die, and to be ever vigilant to the tone of voice and the pace and the silences. It sort of it refines your listening skills, if you like. I think pretty much every person who puts their hand up to be a helping person in the therapist trade should probably spend some time on the phone just to refine that. I think would be good for them and for the people that are searching for help. Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. I just finished reading a book on World War One, and it's about a 700-page book. All the intricate details from how it started with the Austrian prince all the way to the end of when there was the armistice and all those things, and just like some of the stuff people have been through and the things that we inflict on each other is incredible. Like there's a war front, Verdun, in France at 1916, and that was one of the worst ones. And from memory, I think it's 1.5 million people, right? So let's not talk about Germans or French or English or, the small portion of Australians or New Zealanders that were there. Let's talk about people, right? Over 1 million people died on that front for a couple of inches, not inches, a couple of miles to be fair, or kilometers in Australian or UK. And people died for that, right? And some of the things they went through, they had water up to their waist, got trench foot. You stick your head above the parapet, you get shot straight away. Like it's these bombs going off, and there wasn't any this is the hard part for me to wrap my head around. It's like, okay, well, how can one survive in that environment? It's like, well, you can do all these things here to survive. At the end of the day, there's no certainty because you could have a bomb that goes off right there. There's no skill set that allows you to, obviously, you're good with a gun and whatnot. There's no skill set to keep you alive. So basically you're increasing the chances of death by going even to the front there. And if you didn't go, you were in a way shamed by people. If you're a pacifist, you were shamed. And then also on top of that as well, if you went to the front and you backed out, you would then be shot as an example, right? And the reason I'm bringing this up reminds me of Carl Jung talking about the roots growing deep into the earth, right? Like the darkness of humanity growing deep into the earth that then pushes the branches up to make it reach further closer to the sun. And it's just incredible what humans do to each other. And I always wonder, is that just a part of who we are, or is it something that we need to work on releasing? There's so much to it. And it's like, if we keep repeating the same pattern, like you look at China and America now and the West versus the autocracies versus democracies, as it always is, like when will we stop? When will we learn the lesson?
Yeah. Well, firstly, the statistics around those deaths of so many thousands of people per minute during that time in those wars was just incredible. It was like stadiums full of people, a day or a week that were just dying. And those people, as you say, you put your head up and you're gone. They also connected with their buddies. They were like families that they were with on those crusades. So they had families at home, but then they become incredibly close to these other soldiers.
Here's the death toll. Just quickly, look at this.
Yeah.
So the total military, 40 million.
Yeah, that's incredible. I know. And
15. That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's man's inhumanity to man, right? Where the amount that human beings have put human beings through, and the amount of pain that human beings have suffered. But to your second point, it's around that. It's philosophical, right? And that is, what's the point? What's the meaning behind this? Are we part of an evolutionary process? And are we learning? Are we getting better for it? Is the light side winning, or are we going to just be destined to relive the past and go over the same things and not learn from them. You know, a couple of generations forget. You and I will be forgotten in a few generations. No one's going to remember us. So will they remember the lessons of war? I don't know. We don't know. We can only speculate. I would like to think that we're heading towards love more than not. I'd like to think that we're, even though with all the stuff that's happening at the moment, I like to read that we're killing less of ourselves now than we always have,
We are.
in history, and that people's spiritual connection to each other and to their beliefs is getting stronger, that compassion is winning over hate,